Coach Mac, first and foremost, you were a part of the Game 7 in 2016 as a player. You won a Game 7 as a coach. You're moving on to round 2, 11 straight games against this team. You mentioned yesterday that the group necessarily didn't have the family tie into win that game. What was that family tie tonight?
I think you saw it. Right? We defended extremely well. We were willing to win our shifts no matter what the shift called for, whatever zone it was in. And that's playoff hockey, right? We get a puck to the mixer, all important first goal in this series, and then we finish it with the empty netter. But you could just see the guys are wearing their hearts on their sleeves more tonight, and that's necessary to win at this time of year. It's not easy.
Coach, we talk about all the big scorers, like the Ashbrook and the Harpers, but how big is it to have a guy like Zach Walker on your team this late, for a Game 7, a guy who's been a ride at home? He didn't play much during the Kelly Cup Finals, but he was part of that ride. How big is it to have him around right now?
First shift I watched him play last year in the finals of the Kelly Cup, he went full speed face to face with somebody, and I said, Bergie, we need this guy. He's a huge part of our team, and we're lucky to have him back after the couple hard injuries that he had. So that's playoff hockey, and any teams that have ever won anything have guys like that, and they show up at those moments.
Ryan Wheeler, first goal for you guys tonight. Didn't play last night. How big is that for him to take the night off, get right back in, and give this team the energy they needed?
Yeah, same difference, right? But Wheels is a D-man, and he started out as like a 7 or 8, and now he's a forward, and he's arguably our best. But he plays a simple game. He's like an extension of the coaching staff with the way he talks and the details and the habits that he has. So it's easy to put him over the boards, and we were hoping that we won last night so we could get some extra rest, but he was up to the challenge tonight, obviously, to help us get it done in Game 7.
Coach, you switched up the lines a lot between last night, tonight, a few lines that we haven't seen all season. What was the mindset when you put those lines together?
Whoever's going's going. I change them all the time. Going into a game, if you're not playing well offensively, you have a different type of game going, I'm going to switch it up. But the way that we play, you should be able to mix and match with anybody because it's simple hockey. The nets are in the middle. They don't move. The lines don't move. Nothing moves on the rink when you're out there. And there's one puck, right? So whoever's going is going. It's as simple as that.
Isaac Poulter, got to be happy with him. 3 shutouts this series. That's got to be huge.
Yeah, there's not much more you can say. He's a stud. He's playing with confidence on top of his crease, and we're very lucky to have him.
Coach, the significance of getting this playoff win at home, closing out the series, which is a first for the franchise in over 30 years.
Yeah, 32 years. It's unbelievable. Especially with the support we have. It's still kind of funny. I talk to guys in the summer, and I can feel it. They don't know Adirondack. You're missing out. Phil and Garrett's first playoff game, he looks up and he's like, holy, sorry, expletive, but that's what it makes you think. You're like, what's going on? This is unbelievable. So to give that experience to the guys and the fans, for me, it's hard for me to talk about it. It's super cool.
How special was that for you? I mean, growing up, and you're getting emotional now just talking about it, but growing up and coming to the rink every day as a young, and then getting to play here, and then honestly getting that monkey off your back. You talked about it all season long, wanting to get past round 1 and have that, grit factor to get past like you did last year with Newfoundland. So what does that mean for you as a coach and, put you guys aside in the room?
It's family. So he gets to see it just like I did, and he's obviously has a different experience than I did, being a little bit closer to it, but this was our goal. My wife and I talked about how we want to be part of something and have the community be behind it, and I couldn't think of a better place to have that, especially in this rink with these people. It's just a special atmosphere that you have to be involved with to truly understand it.
Can you talk about 11 straight times you've seen these guys? I imagine you're sick of seeing them at this point. Just what can you say about the grit your guys show just to find a way to finish the series off?
Yeah, I think you can talk about both teams hand in hand. Those guys, they brought the best out of us when we really needed it, and I think we brought the best out of them when they really needed it. So it's a heck of a series. You never know what's going to happen in Game 7. So it was a bit of a nerve-wracking last 24 hours because you just want it so bad and you're out of control behind the bench. But kudos to both teams. 11 games in a row. And I thought for all the ticky-tacky stuff that happened, it was very respectful, right? There wasn't really a lot of dirty, cheap stuff for 11 games in a row in the minor leagues. So kudos to all the players for that. And it was just, you hate to see either team lose. Obviously, we're happy that we won.
Now you have Norfolk, the only team in the division with a better record against you. The same game plan, or what's your approach for them?
It's got to be the same. They're like Maine 2.0 with more skill and more finish. They have an identity. They understand what they need to do to be successful, and they do that every single time they go to the board. So we're going to have our hands full.
You know, you played with Terrence Wallen before. I mean, just talk about what he was able to do in this series. I mean, you mentioned the respectfulness of him, but, you know, it's just great to see another Thunder player or former player succeed in the North Division.
A Thunder culture. We've been packed with good people here for a long time, and we've never won a Kelly Cup, but for the smallest market in the league to get in the playoffs as many times as we've had and have, it's impressive. And now you see that lineage work out from Kale and Alex, what everybody learned, and obviously we took that to heart because a lot of us are still working in the game in this league. So super proud of Wally. I can remember when Kale told me he was coming up and we were going to be line mates. He said, "Don't worry, play the UMass role. He's smart." I'm like, okay, sounds good. And he certainly is smart. He was a heck of a player, and obviously he's a very good coach as well. So.
Coach, you talk about the smaller market, but you know, on most nights, it doesn't sound like a small market in this rink.
Yeah,
it's just amazing.
It's comical to me when guys don't understand how awesome it is to play here. You know, if you're going to play in the East Coast League, we have lots of guys choose to go to Florida over us. It's like, you know what you're missing out on. It's unbelievable to play here. So, smallest market in the league, but you're right. It doesn't seem like it. It seems like we're in a three-letter league somewhere.
Coach, it seems like this season, you and Norfolk, every game, it had that gritty toughness, maybe some of that dirty cheap that you were talking about. How do you get the guys prepared with only one day off for game one on Friday night?
Well, they're probably going to go have a beer with each other right now, and then tomorrow they're going to come in. We're going to have some video meetings. We're going to watch Norfolk, and we know what they're all about, right? We knew that we were going to meet these guys again if we want to do something special. Not trying to look too far ahead, but kind of preparing for this moment for a while now, and we're excited for the challenge because you want to play against the best teams. If you want to do something special, you want to go over the best teams. You want them to have all their players. You want us to have all our players, so there's no wishy-washy stuff at the end of it. Mano y mano. Let's see who's the real king of the North. Pardon me, getting fired up here.
You know, obviously Timur Ragmov played one game. He's injured. Guys are getting banged up in that room. You know, a guy like Ryan Wheeler, who, you know, sat out last night, played tonight, had kind of that Game 7 mentality. Any updates on Timur and if we'll see him on Friday?
We won't see him on Friday, no.
Well, is he any chance he plays it at all during the Norfolk series?
It's day to day, but I would err on the side of probably not.
Who do you go for your starter in game one on Friday?
I don't know yet. I gotta get a slice of pizza first.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thanks everybody. Sorry about the F-bomb.
Cheers, let it go. Enjoy the pizza.
You know, how do you feel about coming away with this huge win at home, Game 7, to move on to face Norfolk?
I mean, yeah, that was special. Like I said right from the start, it was game by game, and it was a learning experience for a lot of these guys. And to come in tonight and play the way we did and just be able to keep our composure and get it done is a huge accomplishment for us, and it was a great test for all these guys. I mean, Maine gave us nothing. Every single game they came out hard. They were very well coached. They played a very good series. We had to earn absolutely everything, and it was a very good test, and it's just exciting to be on to the next one.
Skeoch, you know, you talked about the young guys, you know, two-part question here. You know, how much does this series prepare the young guys for a series like Norfolk, knowing, you know, their first Kelly Cup playoff game? And how much did it help having a guy like Zach Walker, a guy who's played a Kelly Cup final, who's been through a Kelly Cup playoff run, here to help this team, and tonight him getting an assist on the board?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, for all those guys to get in and get tested in this series was huge. I mean, you can't experience the playoffs unless you're in the game. You don't really understand exactly everything you need to do unless you're in that game. And it was a very good test for us. And and then Walker, I mean, he's a huge part of this team. He brings energy every single night. You get the exact same thing from him every single night. He's really hard to play against, and it's massive to have him here.
You know, the physicality of the series, you know, obviously, you know, the league, sometimes it gets a little chippy, but it wasn't as chippy, an 11-game series against these two. There must be some respect between those two teams, and you got to be happy. I like you want competitive playoff hockey, and that's what we got this series.
Yeah, 100%. It was always respectful. It's hard. You play against a team that many times. You usually want to make sure you're hitting them and finishing your checks. But it was clean, and it was they played a hell of a series. You got to give credit to Maine. They played their butts off, and they really, really tested us.
Ski, you want to talk about competitive playoff hockey? Isaac Poulter.
Yeah. 3
playoff shutouts this series.
Yeah.
3 out of the 4 wins. Then you give props to Broads on Saturday. But just talk about what he's meant to this team since this came down from Utica.
Yeah, he's just a rock back there for us. He's, like I said before, penalty kill. He's our best penalty killer. He's our best player every game. He shows up every single game. He doesn't take a game off. And then Broads too. Broads jumping in there, and he saved that game for us in that second period. He gave us an opportunity to win. Having 2 fantastic goaltenders in the playoffs is absolutely unbelievable, and we're very, very happy to have both of them, and especially Poulter. He found another level too. He's amazing to watch out there.
What's the biggest key for you guys, knowing quick turnaround, getting Norfolk here on Friday? What's the biggest key recovery-wise for you guys to be ready for puck drop at 7 o'clock on Friday night?
Like I said before, we just got to take it day by day. We come in tomorrow, we do our pre-scout on them, figure out what we need to do as a team to be successful against them, and just day by day.
Pete's mentioned it a ton of time, family. You're the captain of this team. What does that family aspect mean to you on a Game 7 win?
It's huge. There's times where things don't go our way, or somebody makes a mistake that it's hard. And for our team, I think it's a special group. We come together, we're not negative, and we're able to lift each other up. And for a guy that's made mistakes in the past, myself, to have a team that's got your back no matter what's huge, especially in the playoffs.
You know how tough and gritty and physical this Norfolk team is coming in.
Yeah.
It's been a while since you've seen them.
Yeah.
But heading into this matchup, what do you guys need to do to stay composed, stay in the game, and hopefully come away with a Game 1 victory Friday night?
You said it. We got to keep our heads. Going in, that's going to be a huge point. We can't get drawn into the chippy after the whistle stuff, getting extra penalties. I watched some of their games versus Three Rivers, and that was killing them sometimes. They'd get roughing on one side, roughing on the other side, and then Three Rivers would take an extra on top of that. And that's what Norfolk strives off of. They're really good at playing that chippy game, getting you off your game, and kind of playing teams start to play like their style and then end up taking extra penalties. It's going to be massive for our team to stay composed and play our style of hockey.
Good luck.
Thanks, guys.
Shane, you've been here a while. Game 7 tonight wasn't a packed barn, but like it is every night, it was loud. How big is this Game 7 win for you and for this team?
Yeah, even like you said about the crowd, even a Wednesday night, middle of the weekend, we played yesterday, there were still a lot of people in the building, so it obviously means a lot to this town. And definitely, Game 7s are a little nerve-wracking, but I think we played the way we needed to. We were confident enough in making the little plays along the boards. And it was a super tight game. We get one goal in the second, and that ends up being the winner. So usually that's how those Game 7s are. They're just so tight, and we were able to sustain pressure after that. I liked how we didn't let off the gas and kept attacking. So I'm just proud of the guys.
A guy who doesn't see a score sheet a lot, but his presence is known on the ice, Zach Walker, a guy who has Kelly Cup playoff experience. How big is it to have him in Game 7 knowing how young this team is?
Yeah, he's pretty much the epitome of what you would want building a playoff lineup. He's fast, he's thick and big, and our most physical player. So he is, he's everything to us for a playoff forward.
Shane, you kind of just mentioned scoring that first goal. Realistically, how important was it to be the first ones to strike tonight in a Game 7 like tonight, especially being Ryan Wheeler?
Yeah, massive, obviously. We were, saying in the room, if it wasn't us, though, you can't be too down because, in a game 7, anything can happen. So even when we did get that first one, it was, it's always like, okay, now we can. You don't even want to take a breath. You want to keep it going, but it is, of course, it's massive. I wish you could score the first goal every game, but unfortunately that's not the case. So it was big for us, but I liked the way we played after.
What's the biggest thing for you guys heading into Friday night? Only one day between tonight and game one against Norfolk. What's the biggest key for you guys heading into game 1?
Tomorrow, I think we'll just regroup. We'll have some meetings, watch some video on Norfolk, and at least we're not traveling. We do have a day of rest tomorrow, and I think we'll be fine and ready to go for Friday.
Shane, when you've seen a team as much in a row as you have this main team, what's the mentality going into a game like this?
Yeah, playing a team 11 times in a row, guys aren't really a fan of each other out there. You know what I mean? So. But that being said, also you got to give them some huge props. It was a hell of a series. They definitely didn't seem like it was a one playing 4. It was a really good series. They played hard. There was a few games that they out battled us and outworked us. Like last night, I thought they outworked us the entire first period. Ended up winning that game and forcing game 7. So I'm glad we don't have to play them again tomorrow, really. So.
Shane, what's the historical significance, or your thoughts on the historical significance of closing out this playoff series for the first time in over 30 years?
Yeah, I was shocked to hear that. I had no idea. That's pretty special, and it was cool to take a nice long lap around after the game, kind of soak it in a little bit, and just kind of appreciate the fans. Like I said, the fans have been just amazing all year, and it's just great to give them a series win here at home and give them what they are craving.
It feels like it's been months since you guys have played a different team other than Maine.
Yeah.
But this Norfolk team, when you guys matched up, whether it was here or down there, it's a gritty, tough type of game.
Yeah.
Only having the one day off, what do you guys need to do to get ready for that game 1?
Yeah, obviously, like tonight, if you guys need treatment, you got to get in there and get treatment tomorrow. You come in, try to get the necessary treatment as well, but take care of your body tomorrow. We're not going to be skating tomorrow. Should just be a rest day, just a verbal meeting, and then honestly, it's just like right back on the horse. They're a big physical team, and that's the way the playoffs are. We're just gonna have to be ready to go Friday and just kind of keep it rolling.
You talk about these long seasons. How much of that? Can you talk about the impact that Jazz makes on this team?
Yeah, she's great at her job. She cares a lot. That's the biggest part. Having a trainer that cares a lot is important, right? And in doing so, then she does great work for us in whatever situation it is that you need help with, whether it's a massage or cupping or whether it's a different type of injury. She's always there and does what she needs to do.
Good luck.
Thanks, guys.
Poulter, we talked about after your first shutout. For you, it's just getting the win, but at this point, 3 playoff shutouts. Just talk about your performance in this first round.
It is just about wins right now. That's all we're looking for. I'd be happy if we won 10-9. I just want to win hockey games, and we advance to the next round, and that's all that matters for me.
Talk about this team's performance tonight in front of you and the way that they played on the penalty kill and even scoring the first one of the night.
It's fantastic. The guys are blocking shots. Everyone's a little banged up right now, but everyone's doing what they can to help us win. And I can't thank the guys enough for how they played in front of me this series.
Isaac, just 7th game, the 11th time in a row you faced these guys. What did it just take to pull this one out?
We've battled really hard, and it's getting a little tough playing against the same team every single game. But 11 times is a lot, and we knew what to expect out of them. But we just stuck to our game plan tonight, and that's what we did.
Well, what has your level of comfortability been in the net this series? Like the guys talked about it, it's just you've been stellar.
It's just kind of playing the same opponent 11 times. Like I said, you know what we're going to expect. We know what we're going to see from them every night, and just trying to make sure that, I'm on my toes and ready for whatever they have to throw at me.
Poulter, you look at this team all year, the goaltending's been fantastic. You were, as they mentioned, you've been stellar all year, but how nice is it to have another guy like Jeremy Britton, of his caliber, as a 1B here?
I mean, he stepped up in his game here, and I can't thank him enough for what he did. It would be a different series if we didn't win that game, and I think he was fantastic. And he also brings a lot to the dressing room every single day. He is there, and he really cares about every single person in this room, and he can get us up. And when we're a little too tense to make everyone laugh, and he's just a great guy to have in the locker room and a great guy on the ice too.
You get a tough, gritty Norfolk team in here on Friday for Game 1. What's the team's message and way to get ready for this series that feels like it's starting right up after tonight?
Yeah, I mean, I think we just need to keep doing what we've been doing and keep working hard. And, it's going to be a physical series, but as I think we proved tonight in the last couple of games that, that's how we're going to win. We know we can play like that.
Thanks a lot.
Awesome. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Paul.
Is this the news and everything? So Zach, last year you were with Idaho, went to the Caleb Cup Finals. It's a young team. How big was your impact to this young team? And what was your message kind of going into this Game 7 for a lot of guys who haven't experienced this before?
I think there's a lot of strength in having a young team because everyone's really hungry, to take advantage of the opportunities. There's a lot of really good energy. The biggest part, I think that some of, us guys that have played in playoff series like this before, what we brought to the table was being able to control that energy and direct it in the right, direction. It's really easy to get, excited about a goal or fed up about, a call or a missed call. So I think what a couple of us brought, me, Shane, Skeoch, a couple of these, McKinnon and Felix is just being able to kind of control the emotions on the bench and do what we can to direct things positively and make sure that guys stay even keel so that we can, handle the ups and downs of the game.
11 straight games against Maine, you've got to hand it to them, a 7-game series. We've been talking about it earlier with a lot of guys, but, there could have been a lot harder hits, a lot dirtier hits, but the respect was there for you guys. What were your thoughts just on the 7-game series against a team like Maine?
They really, they gave it to us. They were playing for their lives at the end of the year. They needed that last win to get in, and kudos to them for getting it against us, and then being able to take us to Game 7 series is hats off to their staff and their players. They played a really hard game, a shutdown game for 7 games, and that made things really hard and frustrating for us. We like to try and get on the score sheet a little bit, but being able to, being held to 2-1 games or 2-0 games gets a little frustrating. So, they did a really good job, but, I'm really proud of the group that we have in the locker room and how we're able to handle, the stress and the anxiety of being in a situation like this and direct it in a positive way so that we could, be lucky enough to win here on home ice. We're looking forward to it's a quick turnaround right back on Friday. But guys are hopping on the bikes and cold tubs and doing what we need to do to be ready for that.
Isaac Poulter, can't say enough about him in the series.
Yeah, that's you said it right there. That guy's an absolute stud. He is, he came in at the end of the year for us. Played a couple games up and down with Jersey and whatnot, but fit in right away, gelled. Guys love him. He was here last year. I wasn't here to experience, the energy he brought then. But he's an absolute stud. Having him and Broads being able to kick for us in the pipes is huge. Having 3 wins in a series and all 3 shutouts is pretty frickin' impressive, to say the least. And we had no reason being in some of those those tight situations without him. So I love the guy. He brings really great energy to the rink. He and I feed off each other and have fun, but when it's time to go to work, it's time to go to work, and he brings it.
What's your message to the team heading into Game 1 against Norfolk?
Get what you need. We're going back to work. I think that's the biggest thing is, everyone's contributing, everyone's ready. I think that a big positive we have with this group is, we've been able to shuffle around the lineup a bit, and it's a really difficult situation. I was in it last year, where your team does really well, and it's really hard to switch up the lineup. So you get guys who are sitting on the sidelines and not playing as much as they'd like to, and it gets kind of down in the dumps. But we haven't had that really, I don't think, in this locker room. Everyone knows their role and is able to bring it when we need them and slot it in, and guys have done a really great job. I mean, Ryan Wheeler has been an absolute stud for us. We're playing defenseman throughout the year, and now he's my line mate, so it's fun to play with him, and he's doing the right things. But I think the biggest thing is get what you need, go to work. We got more work to do.
Thanks a lot.
No problem. Thank you guys.
Check 1, 2.
Well, as we talked about it yesterday, it was do or die. It was a must-needed win tonight. Talk about this team effort to get the job done in Game 7.
Yeah, it was awesome. I mean, it just feels great to come through and get it done. It's first to 4. You got to win 4 games. And while there was a lot of things we wanted to clean up along the way, it just feels awesome to come through and get it done.
You got the empty netter there. What went through your mind when you scored? Obviously, you had a big celebration up against the glass. Even MacArthur talked about before. You've seen this barn packed. It wasn't a sold-out crowd tonight, but they were loud, and it was a Game 7, and they knew that your season was not going to end tonight.
Yeah, that felt so cool. I mean, I sent it down the ice. We've been good on face-offs, so we knew we could go for empty net there. And yeah, it just felt awesome. I mean, the place was going crazy. I don't know if I've ever scored a goal and it's been louder in a rink, so it felt awesome just with the leverage of the situation. Yeah, like you said, that was, we still had 2 minutes of work to do, but it felt like that was pretty much the icing on the cake.
Another 2-3-2 format against this Emerald team. Another team that you know very well, being from the North Division. Obviously, you're going to enjoy this, but what's the key to getting a victory in Game 1 on Friday night?
Yeah, they're a really strong team, and they played a great series against Trois Rivières up there. So, we're gonna prepare for them tomorrow and just get back to work. And like you said, yeah, the first game's huge. We'll have to come out strong. It helps a lot that we're playing that first game at home. I expect there's gonna be a great crowd again here this weekend. So we'll have to come out fast, and yeah, it'll be another great series.
Tristan, can you talk about the play of Isaac Poulter? Obviously Jeremy Britter gets you the win on Saturday, but Poulter, 3 shutouts in the 3 wins that he had for you. You can't ask for much more.
No, Poulter has been unbelievable in net. And he's bailed us out a handful of times that, we need to clean up a little bit in front of him, but he's an outstanding goaltender, and yeah, he's really on his game right now.
Obviously, the last 2 games have been a goaltending matchup. Arvin Ice is great on that side. But, when you look at this team, Britter and Poulter, you can't say enough about that tandem.
Yeah, Brodeur is extremely good goaltender as well, and he came in this series and played really well and got us the win and kind of shifted the momentum for us as well. So we've got a great tandem in net right now. Our goaltending's been really strong all season, and it's been crucial that that's continued into the postseason as well.
You mentioned family. It's on your shirt. Head coach P. MacArthur said last night it didn't really necessarily play as a family unit, and it came down to Game 7. Who wanted it more? What was said in that locker room this morning, or even when you went out for warm-ups, to pull the family together and pull this one out?
Yeah, like you said, it is a family in there. We're an extremely close group. It's just awesome showing up and going to battle with those guys every day. So, the message wasn't too terribly different going into Game 7, but everybody knew there was a lot more at stake. Our season was on the line, so yeah, the message was pretty similar. You just got to seize the opportunity, and yeah, it worked out well.
Tristan, you end the year as the leading scorer for the Thunder, carries on to the postseason. What's been working for you, especially that jump from the postseason, the regular season to the postseason, and just keeping up keep putting the hook in the net?
Yeah, I think it's a huge testament to my line mates. Everybody's playing well, and I'm just kind of finding some pucks in the right area around the net. I think when the team's going well, everybody's finding the score sheet. So it's been nice to cash in on a few of those, but as a group, we've been playing really well.
Young team here. How big is it to have a guy like Zach Walker on the team? He had an assist tonight, and a guy who played in the Kelly Cup Finals last year, to have him here on a Game 7 like tonight.
It's massive. Walks is he's a vocal guy in the room, and he also leads by example every time he's on the ice. So he's a huge guy to have for our team. Like you said, it is a younger group. So having him is crucial, and we got some other leaders who have really stepped up and driven this team as well.
Thanks a lot.
Yeah, thanks.
Thanks, Adam.